If you've got an oatmeal container at home, you can make this beautiful gift bag right now. What I used was an 18-ounce Quaker Oats oatmeal container. You can use any size because you can customize this to the size that you have. So I started by figuring out how much fabric I needed to wrap around the container. I ended up using about 13 inches of fabric to wrap around. Plus, you're going to need to know how much fabric to make it height-wise, and I used about 14 inches. So I glued down the seams using a craft glue. I just felt that it worked better that way. I prefer using craft glue rather than hot glue, quite honestly. And I used a 1/4 inch seam. Now for the top, you want to make a seam where the ribbon will go through easily and can be cinched. So you don't want to glue the ribbon down into that seam. Just keep that in mind. But again, I used about a 1/4 inch seam. Now, once those seams were glued, I applied them to the oatmeal container with a hot glue. You can use craft glue if you would like. Just be sure to start there on the bottom and keep that level to the base. And then I added the first side. I glued it the height wise up the container. I did not glue past the container at this point. Then I just continued around the container with hot glue, putting it around the base first, and then overlapping those seams, and match up the patterns if you have a pattern on your fabric. And then I finished it off by gluing that second side up the container. I didn't put any glue on the rest of the container. All I did was glue the seams down to the container. So don't feel like you have to put glue around the entire oatmeal container tube. I didn't do a great job at matching up my patterns on the plaid because I was too busy trying to figure out how to film, so keep that in mind. So I just added a little bit of hot glue to the fabric that was above the top of the container in order to kind of close off that seam. You do want to leave it open enough so that you can put a gift inside and get it out. Now you can put a liner inside if you want using paper. I tried it with like a white paper just to finish it off and make it look a little bit more polished. And then just put your item inside. This is great for items that might be a little bit breakable, for that might be tall and are hard to wrap otherwise with gift wrap.